We're nearly at the end of 2023. I reviewed a ton of shoes. I've been super fortunate to be able to afford a lot of the shoes that I wanted. I know not everyone is able to do so, so I definitely feel very lucky. However, there are still some shoes that I wasn't able to review in 2023. One, because of time. I just don't have all the time. This is not a full-time job for me. Two, some shoes, the price is just way too crazy. And then there are shoes, for whatever reason, they're not super expensive. They're not like beyond reach, but I just haven't got them. That's the only explanation. So here are 10 shoes that I wanted to review this year. I never got around to it. I wasn't able to, but maybe one day I'll still be able to have these in hand. Now, disclaimer, this is personal opinion. I'm obviously a Nike and Jordan guy. That is what I grew up with. That's like molded into my brain of what cool sneakers look like. And I know a lot of other brands are really on the rise now. I try to diversify the shoes that I review and that I have in my rotation, but yeah, just being honest, just being transparent. I'm still a Nike and Jordan guy to the core. So if you disagree with anything on this list, that's fine, that's cool. This is just my personal opinion. Here we go. Now first, I do want to start with an honorable mention. It is the Kobe 4 Protro Mambacita. I do love Kobe Bryant. I love Kobe 4s. I like this colorway, but I think compared to the other Kobes that came out after this, I'm not too bummed that I missed out on this. Obviously, it's a very special shoe with a very special meaning. Pretty much all Kobe shoes going forward will have a very special meaning to them. It wasn't a video that I made a few months ago around the top 10 shoes that I missed out on so far in 2023. But as time went on, I'm just not as bummed as I was back then that I haven't got my hands on that shoe. But preview, there is another Kobe shoe that I am super bummed that I won't be able to review in 2023. And it's coming up. Number 10, Adidas Anthony Edwards AE1. It's probably kind of surprising because I don't review a ton of basketball performance shoes on my channel. I don't play ball as much as I used to. But this shoe, it's one of the few basketball shoes in recent memory that's really got me excited. Growing up, I didn't generally like Adidas basketball shoes. I was always a Nike guy. I just don't love the design language of Adidas. The last Adidas basketball shoe that I had was the D Rose 3, but that was mainly because of Derrick Rose. Huge fan of his. So that was the last Adidas basketball shoe that I owned. But this shoe, when I first saw images of the AE1, I thought it looked really nice. It looked very funky, very different, and I am a fan of Anthony Edwards. I think he's a super exciting young player, so it was always on my radar, and on the day that Adidas was going to release the shoe, it was going to come out at midnight West Coast time, so that would be 3 a.m. in Boston on the East Coast. Don't know why they do that. They should just make it 9 p.m. West Coast time, but I set my alarm. I was going to wake up at 3 a.m., and I slept through the alarm. I missed out. I didn't know if this shoe was going to sell out like instantly, but it definitely did, at least in my size. Super bummed. The resale isn't too much on this shoe. I still can get it pretty easily, but might just wait till the next colorway to come out. This With Love colorway I actually really like. I think it's one of the better ones out of the first three that we've seen. The black and white is probably the cleanest one, but this colorway I really like as well. It is a tribute to both his mother and grandmother, so the pink and peach, those are their favorite colors. And it features a flexible knit upper sole and a very special looking TPU overlay that is for extra support, and it looks to have very good ventilation. And of course, this does feature Adidas's famous boost cushioning system. And I just really want to feel it on feet. Yeah, I'm bummed I slept through it, but I blame Adidas. They should just like get their together and not release shoes at 3 a.m. on the East Coast. You're cutting out like half the country. I don't know why they do that. Switch up the times. Come on. And at number 9, it is a Nike SB Dunk. It is the Run the Jewels Nike SB Dunk Low. Now this shoe originally dropped on April 20th for $130, and that is actually Killer Mike's birthday. And there were two dunks that dropped on the same day, a high and a low. My preference is the Nike Dunk Low. I think the colors on the low are just slightly more wearable, and I think the low silhouette looks better. The only Nike Dunk highs that I have are the Gold Mountains. And now the colorways of these two dunks were inspired by RTJ3 and RTJ4. Those are obviously their latest albums. And I'm not sure why I never just like pulled the trigger and got the shoe, but I still haven't. And every time this shoe pops up somewhere on like social media or anything, I'm like, I think I need this. I think the colorway is super clean. It's an SB Dunk, much more preferable to a non-SB Dunk. So maybe before the end of the year, maybe I'll get it. Maybe I'll get it. At number 8, it is the Tiffany Air Force Ones. But I will say right now, it's not because I love this shoe. As a black sneaker defender, I've always liked black sneakers, or predominantly black sneakers. What I don't love are $400 Air Force Ones. I don't care if it's Tiffany. I don't care if it's a high-end brand. A $400 Air Force One, I don't know, that retail price just never really sat well with me. And the reason I wanted to review this shoe was I wanted to see in hand the materials on this shoe for that price. It better come with some like anti-aging materials. Like if I put that on feet, I better have some superpowers. $400 for an Air Force One is nuts. The color of the month Air Force Ones, they were going for $150. I thought that was pretty expensive for Air Force Ones, even though those generally did come with slightly better materials. But $400, I wanted to have those shoes and do a review, just so I could rant about it. You could say I'm a common man. I'm for the people. And to be fair, I've never really quite understood like high-end fashion. I don't own any like name brands like Tiffany, Gucci, none of that. If you have this shoe and if you like it, this is not a knock against you. And you definitely can't compare this to like paying $400 for resale. That's like a whole nother market. It's the intent behind that retail price. $400. Yeah, man. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go crazy. Number 7, it is the Action Bronson New Balance 990 V6 Baklava. Now this is actually not my favorite colorway out of the Action Bronson New Balance collaborations from 2023. I actually did like I can't remember what the name is. This shoe right here, I actually like this colorway better. But then I read up about the story and inspiration behind the Baklava colorway, and I thought it was a pretty cool inspiration. I still don't love the colors. It is a bit too much for me, but Action Bronson does have like a way of just being like a cool dude. You're just kind of drawn to him. He seems charismatic, he seems nice, seems super chill. Now, according to Action Bronson himself, he wanted to capture everything that makes us as human beings. So the blue at the bottom, that references the ocean. The next layer is brown, that's for Earth. And the next layer is copper, which is a reference to electricity. The neon green is for lightning. And then finally the gray, that is a reference to the moon. So all the colors, even though they don't look very coherent together in my opinion, I think the thought process behind it, it's kind of unique. I don't think I've reviewed a 990 V6 on my channel yet. Still not my favorite in terms of colorway, but I did want to see that shoe in hand. Next it is the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Year the Rabbit, which originally dropped on January 21st for $140. I, as an Asian person, I do get a lot of references to like Asian themed shoes. And what made this shoe special, and probably why the price on the resale market is so high, it is because there's only 5,000 pairs made of this shoe. So it's a very exclusive and limited shoe. And I think overall, just removing the exclusivity, I think overall the colors look really nice together. I do like OG lows more than the non-OG Jordan 1 lows. And the storytelling on the shoe, I think it's super nice. That very fluffy chenille type of texture on the laces, that is a reference to a rabbit's fur, obviously this being the year of the rabbit. And it also comes with hairy suede, as well as branding on the tongue. And then on the insoles, you get like a red pocket. And if you didn't know, during Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, people would exchange red pockets with money in them. That is the tradition. But out of all the Lunar New Year releases this year, my favorite was the Jordan 23 Year of the Rabbit. I did get that shoe, and I did review it, so at least I got that one. So I'm not too bummed. Next year it is the Year of the Dragon. If you haven't seen images of the Jordan 1 Low OG Year of the Dragon, ooh, that is looking good. Looking really good. The dragon is just such a cool animal, creature, whatever you want to call it. I'm looking forward to 2024 Lunar New Year releases. And number 5, it is another Nike SB Dunk. It is the Crenshaw Skate Club Nike SB Dunk Low. That is a collaboration with Crenshaw Skate Club, which is owned by Toby McIntosh. And my favorite thing about this shoe, it's the storytelling. For collaborations, I'm just a big sucker for storytelling. I think that's kind of the whole point with a collaboration. Otherwise, why not just make it a general release? And the shoe features nods to LA, like the palm trees that you see on the shoe. And the clip art graphics, they're actually a nod to Toby McIntosh's upbringing. So he spent a lot of time in daycare. So that's a cool reference there. But my favorite thing about this shoe is definitely the overlays. Not just how it looks, because that vintage distressed type of look looks really cool on this shoe, but it actually is a reference to the Crenshaw Square sign. That's like a landmark in Crenshaw, so when you piece it together, yeah, I thought it was really cool. Really nice storytelling on the shoe. I don't know if I would put it above like any of the SB Dunks that I reviewed, like the Haritos, the Born and Raised, the April Skateboards, or the Utos, but definitely belongs in that group. And number 4, it is the Air Jordan 1 Hype 85 Black and White. And this shoe dropped on February 15th for $200. And out of all the shoes on this list, this is definitely the most wearable, I think. Super wearable colorway on a super wearable silhouette, the Jordan 1. And I don't know why I haven't gotten the shoe yet. The resale isn't too much on this shoe. It's affordable. Yeah, maybe I will after this video. But I missed out. I still haven't reviewed it. And I still haven't reviewed any 85 cuts on my channel yet. Definitely want to get around to it. Jordan Brand doesn't come out with 85 cuts very often. So yeah, I might get my hands on this pair soon. It is a 1985 cut, so close to the original specs of the 1985 Air Jordan 1, so it's slightly narrower than a 2023 general release Jordan 1. And because they don't come out with it very often, they bumped it up to $200 instead of a usual $180. Just any way to get more money. And number 3, it is a 3-way collaboration between Ronnie Fieg, the owner of Kith, and Clarks on the Adidas Samba. There were 3 colorways that came out at the same time. My favorite, they were actually really nice, but if I had to choose one, probably be the one with the green stripes. Now, I'm not actually a huge fan of the Adidas Samba. I know it's a very popular shoe, especially this year, but I've never been a huge fan. I don't love the way it looks, but I do like Kith, but I actually really like Clarks. I don't wear anything but sneakers like 99% of the time, but on those rare occasions where I have to wear something slightly more formal, I go with Clarks. I think they're comfortable, they kind of cross the line between formal and casual, so I think I like that part of it. I think they have nice quality shoes, so I'm a fan. In this collection, it uses Clark's famous crepe sole, and it just really fits the silhouette really well. And you'll see a lot of DBoss branding all over the shoe, which I think are very nice and tastefully done. And thankfully, there's actually another collaboration with these 3 coming out on Christmas Day. Hope to get one of the 2 colorways that are dropping. I don't care which one it is, I think both are nice. So fingers crossed that I'm able to review one of those shoes. But right now, still don't have any. And at number 2, I know this year is not over, but unfortunately, I know I won't get around to reviewing this shoe. It is the Kobe 4 Pro Tro Gift of Mamba. And this shoe is dropping on December 27th for $190. I love Kobe Bryant. I love this colorway. I love the Kobe 4s. I won't be able to review this shoe. I just don't have the time. I don't even have the shoe in hand yet, so I am bummed. I generally don't love snakeskin on shoes, but the way this snakeskin appears on this shoe, it just looks so nice. It blends in so well because of the colorway. The saving grace is, it does feel like we're going to get a lot of Kobe shoes in 2024, so I hope I can get my hands on every single one. It's going to be an expensive year, but I really like Kobe shoes. I love Kobe Bryant as a player, so looking forward to 24. And at number 1, it is the Air Jordan 3 J Balvin, and the shoe originally dropped on September 23rd for $250. Now this is a little surprising even for myself, because number 1, I'm not really familiar with J Balvin's music. There's no shade, I'm just an old man. I still listen to the same stuff that I listened to like growing up, so like 90s, early 2000s hip hop. That's pretty much all I listen to. No shade on J Balvin, I'm sure he's great. And I also never really loved the collaborations that he did with Jordan Brand before. They were a bit too funky, a bit too loud for me. But this one, I think he knocked it way out of the park. This one is good. This one is really nice. Now the colorway of the shoe, it is inspired by the sunset of his hometown, Medellin, Colombia. And the colors that they specifically chose, they just did such a good job. It's not like corny, because when you think of like color gradients or sneakers, it's very easy to like make that a very corny looking shoe or like too loud. But I think the colors on this one, it really works. It's wearable. Now, if I had a choice, because I'm not like a huge J Balvin fan or anything, I don't love that smiley face on the booty of the shoe, but it is his collaboration. I totally understand why it's there, but the end product, the result, and the way that it's executed, the leather looks super nice on the shoe. I still want to get my hands on these. So that's it. Thanks for watching Sole Inclined. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.